Welcome to Planning Joy Garden. This is my 60-day update on my Tiny Tim tomatoes. Now, this is not a hydroponic tomato. This is a tomato that I started November the 16th. So actually at the time of this, we're at 64 days. So this is a tomato I started in a wicking pot, sometimes referred to as self-watering pot. But what was unique about this is that the pot had its own light source. So actually it's a double pot. The inside has soil and the outer side has water. And as you can see, my tomato is growing beautifully. I'm going to take you a little closer because I have fruit. Okay. So you can see that I have tomatoes developing all over this plant. Nothing has ripened, and as you can see, it is extremely healthy. There's tomatoes all the way around. And so this integrated wicking pot, integrated in the sense that it has its own light source and it has the ability to water itself. Now this has required very little care. After adding quality soil, I only needed to keep the water levels topped off. And so today we'll be providing some additional care. In the past it was just watering, but today I want to do a little side dressing. I want to make sure my soil stays replenished. So let's talk about side dressing. Let's take a close look at the base of the plant. You'll notice that my plant has little nodes, and these nodes can grow new roots. And oftentimes when we're outdoors, we'll notice that the soil will retreat from the plant and that the plant will attempt to grow accessory roots. And that's the case with a container. And when that happens, we want to make sure that we side dress. We want to make sure that the plant has access to nutrient soil. Now, there are many options for side dressing. You can just add more nutrient soil. You can add a combination of fertilizers and bone meals in the case of tomatoes and peppers, or you can add a mulch, a compost-rich mulch, to provide additional nourishment for your plant. And this is really important in the fruiting stage. Today, I will be side dressing with compost, a very rich homemade compost. Now, because this is compost, I did take the steps of sterilizing it, which means I poured boiling hot water through the compost before using it. Of course, I allowed it to cool down. But with compost, I know that I'm getting a balanced nutrition and it has a little bit of everything. And I'm using the compost kind of like a mulch on the soil. Now you can scratch it in and then water it in, or you can simply use it as a mulch. And because I have a wicking pot here, I'm using it as a mulch, and the wicking action of the pot itself will keep this mulch wet and allow it to blend into the soil, making the nutrients accessible to the plant roots. Now, one thing I really like about using this wicking pot is that I have even moisture throughout. It truly allows me to grow tomatoes indoors pretty much maintenance free. This has really been the only maintenance I've provided, which is the side dressing. From week to week, I am just topping off with water. Now, one important thing, you want to make sure you're starting out with a nutrient soil, a balanced soil, and you want to make sure that it's in an environment where you can kind of control the temperature. So in my case, my control environment is my kitchen, where I get consistent temperatures. Warm temperatures are necessary for tomato growth, but the other thing with tomatoes is the risk of blossom end rot. So I want to make sure that my plant is getting all the nutrients it will require to fruit and to ripen and be delicious when eaten. The other concern when growing indoors is having adequate lighting. So this wicking pot has solved the problem. I'm able to provide red zone lighting with this pot, and I'm able to provide 16 hours of sunlight throughout the day, which will help my plant to ripen. And having high red zone lighting will also help with flowering and also with the ripening of the fruit. And this pot has done such a great job growing tomatoes that I think I want to start my peppers. It's plenty of volume where I can allow them to sit here for a while and develop before having to transplant them outside. And it really solves the problem of moisture, light, and space for starting peppers when you live in a cold area. Now let's review the growth. We're going to travel back in time and see the growth of my Tiny Tim tomato. And here's the growth at 10 days after germination, and it looks beautiful. I did thin them. And here's my growth at 30 days. I've got leaf growth. And by 50 days, I was starting to see flower buds. So as you can see, tomatoes look amazing all the way around. The tomatoes look amazing. I am not sponsored by anyone. I do not have a discount code, but this is the name of the company. And I am growing Tiny Tim tomatoes. Now, if anything has been helpful, please hit that like button and also subscribe if you would like to follow me as I grow indoors and I prepare for my outdoor garden real soon. So come back again. Thank you and have an amazing day.